Hi, my name is Pie, but I'm not named after the sweet dessert. Instead, I'm named after the mathematical number pi. You see, my mom was a math genius and nothing else mattered to her, and she wanted to make me just like her. Pi, I didn't keep you in my tummy for 394,200 minutes and 30 seconds so you could become a dummy. Come on, tell me what comes after a trillion?
A dinosaur, Mommy?
Ugh, how can you say that? She would just go crazy at my replies, but I didn't want to be a math genius like her. I had my own dreams.
Look, Mom, I want to be on TV, like Hannah Montana.
You can be on TV, but as the greatest mathematician of all time, till then, you gotta stop watching these stupid things, Pi. And then she picked up the entire TV set and threw it out of the house. And she just got crazier. Once in the 4th grade, Mom barged into my classroom after my teacher failed me in my math test, and she went all bonkers on him. You must be my daughter's math teacher because you even look like a moron. And what do you even teach here? Top 10 tips on how to suck at math? Mom pushed the math teacher aside and started solving the problems on the board. The teacher tried to snatch the marker from her, and the kids started shouting, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" The principal called security to drag Mom out, and I was the laughing stock. Then one day in 7th grade, I went with Mom to the supermarket, and I saw some people outside the shop with cameras. They were shooting for a TV show. This was freaking awesome. As Mom was busy shopping, I sneaked out and joined the crowd. But the female lead was a terrible actor, and she couldn't even faint for a scene. After the 79th take, when the director shouted, "Action," I jumped in and fell to the ground. Everyone rushed in to check on me because they thought I'd actually fainted. See? That's how you faint. The whole crew went, "Wow." Even better, the director gave me his card and asked me to come audition next month for the lead role in a new TV series. OMG, this was like a dream come true. Now I just had to tell Mom about it, but before I could, something terrible happened. At night, I suddenly woke up because I could smell something burning. I ran down and saw the whole kitchen was on fire. I quickly grabbed the extinguisher and sprayed all over the place, but my sleeve caught fire and I screamed. Mom came running and took me to the hospital immediately. I had heavy burns all over my left arm. It took me weeks to recover, and Mom was the saddest about it. "I'm so sorry, baby. It was my fault. I put milk on the stove and started working on a math problem and completely forgot about it for hours. Please forgive me, Pi." Of course, I knew it wasn't her fault, but I was worried about something else. A TV lead with burn scars? A week later, I went straight to the director's studio for the audition, and he was so excited to see me. But just as I removed my jacket, everyone looked horrified. Oh, what's that on your arm? How did I not see it that day? I don't want someone like this to be my lead. Don't waste my time and just leave, please. I ran home crying and hugged my mom as soon as I saw her. I told her everything, but she had the weirdest reply. "Oh, don't be sad, honey. Now that your stupid dream is over, you can focus on much better things in life." Stupid? My dream wasn't stupid. I pushed her away and ran to my room, slamming the door hard. The next morning, we had an uninvited guest at our doorstep, Mom's niece, Mia. She was the same age as me and was going to live with us for a while since my aunt was volunteering in Africa as a medical professional. But Mom didn't seem happy about it at all. Why me? She could have gone to her grandparents. How am I going to look after 2 kids now? Mia looked kinda sad when she heard Mom ranting, but I made sure she felt super comfortable in my presence. I showed her around the house and asked her to sleep in my room with me. But when I took off my jacket, Mia suddenly screamed. "OMG, what's that on your arm?" "It's a burn scar. Don't be scared." "Oh, I'm so sorry that I screamed like that. It must have hurt you a lot, right?" And saying that, she hugged me. Gosh, she was the sweetest. Later that evening, I saw Mia scribbling something on Mom's desk. I ran to warn her, but Mom popped up sooner, and she was furious. "Nobody touches my workspace, Mia. Nobody. Not even Einstein. I'm gonna kick you out if you've ruined something." But then suddenly, I saw Mom's eyes almost pop out with shock. "Oh my, how did you solve this? You're a genius, Mia. You're the daughter I've always wanted. I'm gonna make you the next Archimedes." And in no time, Mom became best friends with her. and I suddenly became her least favorite. They talked about matrices and algebra even at the dinner table and laughed over stupid inside math jokes.
What did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless.
Gosh, I was low-key hating it now. A few days later, I was shocked as soon as I entered my room. All my stuff was gone. When I asked Mom about it, she told me she was gonna move me to the attic so Mia could have more space to work. Mia said she didn't need so much space, but Mom just pushed me into the attic. This was so unfair. One time, Mia and I returned from school, and all my photos in the house were now replaced with Mia's pictures. I wasn't in any of them. Mom even took out my old childhood photos from there. Mom, where are all my photos? In the attic. We don't need to crowd the walls. But I liked looking at my pictures. Ugh, just look in the mirror for God's sakes, Pi. And it's not like you're super smart that we need your face framed and hung everywhere. I was about to burst with anger, but just then Mia came in with a few of my pictures from the attic and took hers down. Mom looked annoyed, but she stayed quiet. Later that night, I confided in Mia that I wanted to go to some drama auditions for the local theater, and she totally encouraged me. A few weeks later, I went in for the audition, but I was a little hesitant due to my scar. As soon as I got onto the stage, I told the director about it, but his reply shocked me. He said no one could even see my scar from the stage, and all he cared about was my talent. This made me jump with excitement, and I aced the audition. I ran home to tell Mia about it, and she was the happiest. The next morning, I woke up to see Mom and Mia getting ready to go out. Mia said there was an award ceremony at Mom's Math Club Association, and she was getting an award. OMG, Mom, that's so cool. Can I come with you too? Please. She agreed, and I was so proud to see her on stage. I couldn't have achieved this without my daughter's support. She's my everything. I'm so blessed to have her. I would be happy if you all could see her. I stood up from my seat and waved at the crowd, but suddenly Mom said, Mia, my darling, please come to the stage. What the crap? How could she humiliate me like that in public? This was it. As soon as we reached home, I confronted her. What was that, Mom? How can you treat me like that? Because that's how you have treated me and my passion. You didn't even try learning for my sake, so I can't treat you any better. I always wanted to bring the genius out in you, but you're so silly and crazy with your dumb acting dream. Enough, Mom. You're right. My dream might be silly, but it's mine, and it's important to me. Just like your dream is important to you. You made it big, and I'll do that too. Because I'm your daughter, stubborn and crazy about my dream, just like you. I stormed off to my room, and Mia came in later and consoled me. After that, I didn't talk to Mom for days. I was busy practicing for my play, and on my big day, I was on stage as Rapunzel. But before I could start, I saw Mom in the crowd. Oh my God, what was she doing here? And just as I was reciting my dialogue, I got a little too emotional and mixed up in my feelings with my lines. You were right, Mom, but the thing is, I wanted to know who I was and where I belonged. I want you to be proud of me, but I can't do it at the cost of my own happiness. And just as I ended my line, I was shocked to see Mom cheering for me in the crowd and wiping tears off her cheeks. I couldn't believe it. Did I make her proud? When the play ended, Mom came backstage and hugged me tightly. I'm sorry, Pi. I had no idea you acted so well. You're so talented. And I'm sorry I never took you seriously. I've been so blind, and I'm so glad Mia brought me here today. Mia? OMG, she was the best. As soon as I reached home, I hugged her. You're the best, Mia. I love you. All thanks to you, Mom came to the play, and she loved it. We went ahead and partied all night. But much later, I woke up to some sound and saw Mia sneaking out of the bedroom. What was wrong? I followed her, and then what I saw next shocked me to my bones. She was copying Mom's research into a hard drive and clearing all the data from her computer. Mia, stop it! What are you doing? And for the first time, I saw a really strange expression on Mia's face, and it wasn't sweet.
Oh God, not you. Go away. Even the sight of you pisses me off.
What? What do you mean?
I thought Aunt would go see your stupid play and humiliate you, but it turns out she's blinded by her stupid motherly love for you and is all proud of that silly stuff you do. When in reality, I'm supposed to be the only one she would be proud of, her true genius daughter.
God, I had no idea you were so evil all along. I thought of you as my real sister.
Oh, cut the stupid emotional talk. I hate you and I'm leaving for good. But before that, I'm gonna take what's mine. I have worked on this research too, and now I'm gonna sell it for millions.
No, I can't let you do that to Mom. And saying that, I jumped on her. Soon we broke into a wild fight, and Mom came rushing in after hearing all the noise. Mom, Mia's trying to steal all your research and sell it for money.
No, she's lying. She's jealous of me and my bond with you, so she wants to break us apart now. She's the one who's stealing it because she hates you. Please, don't trust her.
Mom broke us apart, and she held Mia firmly by the arms. No, you're lying. I trust my daughter, and I know she'd never do anything to hurt me. She loves me more than I deserve. You thought I'd judge her based on your stupid words? Not happening. I'm calling your mother right now, and you're leaving my house the first thing tomorrow.
No, Aunt, wait, no, this is a mistake.
I ran to Mom and hugged her, and the next day, Mia was sent back to her home. And after that, Mom and I grew quite close, and she supported me all the way.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and my fate was almost determined by old family traditions that I just couldn't fight. You might ask why? Well, my hands were tied because my mother was dying. Okay, but let me back up a bit and start from the beginning. Everything went downhill the day I read my mother's diary and discovered all the secrets she was hiding. I grew up in a pretty traditional and old-fashioned family, but we were very happy. I was the youngest, and my parents and 2 older brothers always gave me all the attention I needed. However, our happiness didn't last. A few years back, my father passed away, my hero who taught me everything in life, including math, science, and the meaning of life. He died serving our country in a foreign land. He wasn't only my hero. His death turned him into a national hero, too. I was devastated at losing him. Dad was my everything, and I was his little girl. I miss him so much, and there are so many nights where I still cry about him dying. It feels like he's left this big hole in my life. A little while after Dad's death, my 2 older brothers started new jobs and moved into their own houses with their families. I stayed with my mom, who was heartbroken, not only about losing Dad, but also that her 2 boys had up and left, too. Everything turned upside down on that fateful day when my mom felt a little dizzy and had to go lie down. Ever since then, she was always tired, way too tired to do any of the housework that brought her so much joy, so I had to take over all the household chores for her. We went to see so many doctors, and they did every possible test. Waiting to find out what it could be was absolute torture, but they figured out what was wrong and assured us that many people survive that illness and even thrive, and that she was in good hands. I held on to that notion with both hands. I mean, what would I do without my mom? Eventually, they let her go home. She needed to rest, and I promised to take good care of her. After all, my brothers were too busy with their jobs and their own lives to even worry about her. The other day, while taking care of my mom, I dropped an empty glass on the carpet by mistake and saw something stuck between the mattress and the bed. What could it be? I wondered if it was maybe an old book that she was reading. After dinner, my mom fell fast asleep, so I tried to take the book out and put it back on her bookshelf, only to find it had a little lock. How odd! I got really curious, so I opened it, ever so slightly, only to discover it wasn't a book at all. Oh my, it was my mother's old diary. I laughed. My mother was so unpredictable. I mean, why would she have a diary? I was dying to read it, but I put it back immediately. It was wrong, and I didn't want her to suspect anything. As the days went on, my curiosity had gotten so bad that I started dreaming about what might be inside the diary. So one night, after my mom had gone to sleep, I couldn't wait a moment longer. I just had to take a peek. I took the diary to my room, sat down on my bed, and started reading it. It had every detail I'd ever hoped for about my dad, all about how he came back from the war and saw her, how they fell in love. As I read this, tears of joy ran down my face. I suddenly had a thought and rushed to the very end to see if she had written anything recently. After all, she was sick and she never really talked about what she was going through. Opening that diary was a mistake I still regret even today. Because the more I read, the more I found out things that I never wanted to know. The first shocking thing I discovered, my mom was dying. How could she keep this a secret from us? I couldn't believe it. As far as I was concerned, her health was getting better. I closed the diary and I hugged my pillow really tight. I was gonna be left in this world all alone. Why was everyone leaving me? That night, I cried myself to sleep. When I woke up a few hours later, my eyes were swollen. I didn't feel like getting out of bed or doing anything at all. I turned my head to the side of my bed, and the diary was still there. I opened it, and I started reading some more. I thought that I had already read the worst thing that I could possibly find in there, but then my heart stopped for the second time. Not only was my mom dying in secret, but she had also written a will. I found it, hidden in a small envelope that she had clipped onto the diary. My heart was pounding as I started reading what was inside the will. With respect to our traditions, I am leaving everything I have to my dear boys. Such strong young men. I'm so proud of them. I ran through the pages again and again, looking for any mention of me, but it was nowhere to be found. I was in complete shock. My mom didn't even acknowledge me. I couldn't believe that I meant this little to my mother. Why were her dear boys so much more important? Did she take no notice of who took care of her day and night? I crawled back under my bedsheets and cried and cried. I wasn't sure how to handle knowing what I'd discovered. I mean, she was dying. I couldn't just demand my share of the will when my mom was preparing for her death. I had to take care of her, but did she even want me to? But she told me she loved me all the time. I was so conflicted, and my head was spinning. For days, I was almost half a person, going through the motions every day, cleaning the house, preparing dinner for my mom, changing her wet headcloth, sitting by her bed, reading her books. But I was an empty shell. My mind was running through all these questions on an endless loop. While I was listening to the TV one evening, I heard this preacher say that we must elevate ourselves for the ones we love. We must forgive without expecting anything in return, especially when they need us the most. For some reason, that resonated with me, and I couldn't stop thinking about my mom. Even though it was difficult, I had to be strong for her, because I loved her, and her final days needed to be filled with as much joy as possible, not sorrow. We had enough sorrow in our home already. The words, "with respect to our traditions," in the diary kept repeating in my head over and over again. I had to find out what she meant. I did some research on the internet and in the library about our culture, and I found out that for many years, that's how we as a people lived. That's how she was. That's who she was. My mom was the embodiment of our traditions. Respect your elders, wash your hands, pray, holiday dinners. All of these were most important to her. Of course this wouldn't be any different. I loved her as she was, with all my heart. Accepting this was hard, but the reality was that my mother needed me most at this time, and I just had to let it go. On the next holiday, my two brothers came home, and I prepared a good old-fashioned family dinner. My mom even joined us when it was ready. We sat down together to eat. I looked at my brothers as they were enjoying the dinner I had made. They were laughing, happy, and unbothered. They showered my mom with sweet words, and I could see how happy it made her feel. Shortly after, she went to her room because she got tired. I stayed there with my two brothers. stern voice. "Don't tell her you know. She doesn't need to worry, especially during this time. Plus, arguing with her won't lead anywhere. And you as well. We'll make it right. You are our family, our little sister. You're one of us. Did you ever doubt that we'd take care of each other? There are so few of us left. We must stick together, and you can come live with us." My other brother nodded and smiled. We hugged for a long time. That was 2 years ago. My mom passed away soon after that holiday. I still, however, feel her presence with me. I can't say that I was mad at her because of the will. After all, my brothers gave me my fair share of it without hesitation. They told me that nothing in the world can come between us, especially not money. Regardless of her commitment to traditions, I don't doubt her love to me because I felt it with every touch, every word, every look. I'm sure of it. Have you ever found out about a critical secret that someone you love hid from you for a while? How did that affect you?